The Dog Stars Storyline Breakdown. First of all, welcome to Movie Love TV. At its heart, The Dog Stars is a tale of survival, loneliness, and the fragile spark of hope in a world undone. The story follows Hig, a small plane pilot who has endured the collapse of civilization after a devastating pandemic wiped out most of humanity. He lives in near isolation at an abandoned Colorado airport, accompanied only by his loyal dog Jasper and a volatile but resourceful neighbor Bangley, a former Marine. Together, they form a tenuous alliance. Hig provides compassion and flight skills, while Bangley supplies ruthless pragmatism and defense against marauders. The narrative unfolds in a landscape stripped of order. Hig spends his days hunting, fishing, and flying his Cessna over the empty wilderness, clinging to routines that keep the spy at bay. Jasper, his dog, is more than a companion. He is Hig's anchor to humanity, a reminder of loyalty and unconditional love in a world where trust has all been vanished. Bangley, in contrast, represents survival at its ashes, armed, suspicious, and unyielding. Their uneasy partnership highlights the tension between empathy and brutality, between living and merely staying alive.
So what'd you do before the world ended?
The turning point comes when Hig intercepts a faint radio transmission while flying beyond his usual perimeter. The signal suggests that other survivors may exist, sparking a dangerous question. Is there still community, connection, and meaning beyond his isolated refuge? This possibility grows at him, awakening a longing that has been buried beneath grief and routine. Against Bangley's warnings, Hig decides to risk everything by flying past the point of no return, a journey that could cost him his life but might restore his faith in humanity.
Hello?
The storyline balances external conflict with internal struggle. Externally, Hig faces threats from armed scavengers, dwindling resources, and the unforgiving wilderness. Internally, he wrestles with grief over his lost family, the crushing solitude of survival, and the moral compromises demanded by a lawless world. His dog Jasper embodies the last thread of innocence, and when that bond is threatened, Hig's emotional core is laid bare. The novel and its adaptations emphasizes that survival is not only about food and shelter, but about sustaining hope, memory, and love.
Trying to hold on to what was. But out there, it's kill or be killed.
As Hig ventures further, the narrative explores themes of risk and renewal. The radio signal becomes a metaphor for faith, the belief that beyond devastation, there might still be connection. His journey is both physical and spiritual, flying into unknown territory mirrors his leap into vulnerability, during to trust again after so much loss. The tension between Bangley's idealism and Hig's yearning for meaning underscores the central question: is survival enough without human connection? The climax of the story hinges on Hig's decision to embrace risk, to seek out others despite the dangers. This hack transforms the narrative from one of more endurance to one of possibility. Whether he finds a thriving community or only fragments of humanity, the journey itself reaffirms his identity as more than a survivor. He is a seeker of life, love, and belonging. The Dog Stars, both literal and symbolic, guide him through darkness, representing loyalty, constancy, and the faint light of hope in a shattered world. Ultimately, The Dog Stars is less about the mechanics of apocalypse than about the resilience of the human spirit. It asks timeless questions. What makes life worth living when everything is lost? Is championship, whether from a dog, a neighbor, or a stranger, enough to sustain hope? And can faith in connection outlast fear and despair? Each story resonates because it is not bound to a specific era. It is a universal meditation on survival, grief, and the enduring need for love. Subscribe to Movie Love TV.